The final item of business today is the members' business debate on motion number 12084 in the name of Graham Day on welcoming a more energy-efficient retail sector. This debate will be concluded without any questions being put, and I would be grateful if those members who wish to speak in the debate could press the request to speak buttons now, please. I call on Graham Day to open the debate. Mr Day, 7 minutes, please.
Thank you. Can I begin by thanking all those MSPs who supported the motion allowing this debate to take place and those who have remained behind to participate in it. Presiding Officer, the Rural Affairs, Climate Change and Environment Committee of this Parliament has highlighted repeatedly in its work on tackling climate change and driving down emissions that Scotland will only achieve its ambitions with societal and individual behavioural change. Parliament setting targets and government introducing initiatives is all well and good, but without genuine buy-in, we are up against it. And to get that buy-in, you need exemplars of environmentally responsible practice at community level, across the public sector and in the private sector. And that's why I'm pleased to bring forward this debate and commend the efforts of the Scottish Retail Consortium's membership, as highlighted in the report, A Better Climate, Driving Resource Efficiency. Because promoting good practice is an integral part of ensuring we very quickly reach the point where behaving in an environmentally responsible way is seen as the norm, doing otherwise unacceptable. So let's look at what has been delivered by the SRC's membership across the UK and then consider what they plan to achieve by 2020. Targets signed up to in 2008 and exceeded: cutting energy-related emissions from buildings by 30%, cutting greenhouse gas emissions from supermarket refrigeration by 55%, cutting energy-related carbon emissions from store deliveries by 29%, cutting the proportion of waste sent to landfill from 47% to 6%, and increasing water measurement in sites from 50% to an estimated 83%. New targets for 2020, again using 2005 as the baseline: reducing absolute carbon emissions from retail operations by 25%, cutting energy-related emissions from buildings by half, reducing emissions from refrigeration gases by 80%, reducing carbon emissions from store deliveries by 45%, measured 100% of water usage on sites, send less than 1% of waste to landfill. And it's worth peering behind these headlines and considering the specifics of what's actually been taking place. Let's look at ASDA. Carbon emissions from existing stores, offices and depots is down by a third since 2005. They aim to be having 30% of their energy sourced from renewables by the end of 2015 and are on target to reduce energy consumption within existing stores by 35% this year. They've reduced their packaging by 27% since 2007 and are travelling 18 million fewer road miles compared to 2005. And despite opening 150 new stores over the period, ASDA saw a 15.8% absolute reduction in their carbon footprint across the UK between 2007 and 2012, the figure for Scotland 17%. Sainsbury's, despite increasing the space taken up by their UK-wide operations by 46%, energy usage in 2013-2014 remained the same as it was in 2005-2006. They aim to have electricity for all 86 of their Scottish stores from renewable sources by 2020, and as of 2012-13, no waste goes to landfill. The Co-op targeting an emissions reduction of 50% by 2020. By 2013, some 98% of their electricity was coming from renewable sources, and by 2017 they aimed to have 25% coming from their own renewable resources, and that's up from 7% 2 years ago. The Co-op discovered during a trial in 2011 that they could reduce total store energy use by 20% if they fitted doors to their fridges. 298 of these stores, including in Carnoustie and Monifieth, my own constituency, now have that, and the figure is planned to rise to 2,000 stores by 2020. B&Q have reduced their carbon emissions by 29% since 2006 and aim to get to 90% by 2023, partly through using double-decker trailers to reduce total road miles. Waitrose, for example, their suppliers deliver to a central hub in Cumbernauld rather than having to distribute products around all 6 supermarkets in Scotland. Greggs have installed photovoltaic systems on 10 of their bakeries, including Clyde Mill and Cambuslang. WH Smith are actually sharing vehicles with other retailers. McDonald's are recycling cooking oil, turn it into biodiesel for use across 40% of their fleet, which is saving around 6,000 tonnes of carbon per annum. They've also reduced bun tray liners by 10 centimetres in size, which is saving over 85 tonnes of paper each year. And by redesigning the boxes for one of their most popular lines and the spoons given out for consuming ice cream, are saving 800 tonnes of materials every year. And can I note, as the motion does, the efforts of my own constituent, Peter Stirling, who grows sprouts and strawberries just outside Arbroath. Mr Stirling was recognised by Marks and Spencer's for his outstanding contribution to sustainable farming with their Farming for the Future Produce Award for Scotland 2014 at last year's Highland Show, after he invested in biomass boilers for his greenhouse blocks and using innovative techniques to extend shelf life and reduce waste. And of course, tackling food waste is very much a further stream of work being undertaken by our retailers. If I may just highlight two examples, both involving Tesco. In conjunction with Glenarth of Peebles, they've been trialling a new type of recyclable plastic packaging to restrict seepage from broken eggs to that pack that the eggs are contained within. They believe that that has the potential, if the measure was rolled out for all of their free-range eggs, to save an average of 1 million eggs each year. Additionally, Tesco have launched a new zip to frozen pea packages, which they believe could save an estimated 35 tonnes of peas from rolling out of the bag and onto the back of the freezer or onto the kitchen floor and going to waste. Presiding Officer, this is real action to deliver real change across the sector, with clear plans to build on what has been delivered. The retail sector has looked closely at how it operates and moved to reduce that environmental impact. Of course, those concerns have cut their overheads as a result, but that's part of the behavioural change message for organisations as well as individuals. Change behaviour and both your pocket and the planet benefits. Presiding Officer.